Welcome to Archery Geek Outdoors. Good evening, one and all. Welcome back to what we're on, episode 59. Trying another video podcast using a new setup, using my iPhone as a webcam. Hoping it records, may not. So if it does record, you get a video podcast. If it doesn't, you're getting just an audio podcast. Studio's being gutted, so we sat recording in the dining room, and the dining table's too thick for the microphone clamps. I am joined by the one, the only Mr. David G, the digital media officer of IFA.
Hello.
So apologies if with this camera angle either of us look like we're giving head to microphones.
No, I'm not doing that again.
Right, several things we want to talk about tonight. First one, Chinese equipment. Now, you're the bugger that got me into Skylon arrows, aren't you? It's your fault I use Skylon. Absolutely.
Well, fat boys aren't being made anymore, and so it was sent over to China, made under license. I shot them for a while, and I found them to be just as good as the fat boys, to be honest. Yeah, really good arrow.
Actually, I tried your Brooks down at White Mark out of my Kuma, and they flew better out of my Kuma.
It went better out. Yours did mine.
What were you shooting at the time? What bow?
That was out the Prime.
Yeah, because I mean, you've had what?
That was a Prime CT9.
Yeah, you had a Prime. You've had a Matthews TRX.
Yep.
What else you had?
I've had Hoyts. I've had all sorts. Yeah, PSE.
So you've had all the big name expensive bows.
Yeah, at some point, yeah.
And what are you shooting now?
I'm now shooting a Sandleader X10 Hero.
The hero bow.
The hero bow. Yeah, in gold.
And what's the verdict on it?
I think it shoots really well. I think it's a really nice bow. It's got a nice solid back wall. Yeah, it's just as good as shooting the Prime when you get the hang of it. Yeah, it's not quite as forgiving. I mean,
or is that just you getting old?
Well, it's probably a bit of the arthritis.
Yeah. And what sight were you running on it?
So I'm. Well,
were you?
Okay.
Yeah, what sight were you running originally?
I was running the Sandleader X10 9-inch bar, and I had the Sandleader X10 scope on there as well.
So we had to slip it in. You got 9 inches, didn't we?
Oh yes.
How did you find the sights? I mean, I shot one of the Avalon Tech X's for a while, and that used to shake itself apart.
Yeah.
Not a bad sight, but you had to thread lock everything, otherwise. Every few shots, you'd get rattle, and screws came loose. I
found the Tech X was okay. I think the Sandleader X10 was actually a step up. I mean, it's basically the same as like a Shrewd.
I'd say a copy of the CBE sight. Is it CBE?
No, it's one of them. It's a copy of someone. I think it's a copy of more than one all bolted together to make a Sandleader X10, to be honest. But it does what it says on the tin. It's not fancy or clever or anything. It's just you wind it and it goes up and down.
So we were talking earlier, and I know the Chinese gear gets an awful lot of hate, particularly in the States.
Yeah.
You know, you see Archery Hooligan or Archery Letdown post something, and some of them are just blatant outright copies, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they are definitely. Well, there's no copyright laws in China, so it makes it very easy for them to do it, doesn't it?
Wasn't it the drug companies that tried to sue the Chinese companies, and the Chinese government said, "Fuck off! We bought one of your tablets. We got them to copy it because we're not paying the amount you want to charge us."
Exactly. You know, it's
our country. We do what we want.
Hey, you know that's their rules. There's nothing that we can do to stop them from doing it.
See, like I said to you earlier, we were having this conversation just with the price of archery equipment now, if I was getting into it now, and you look at the prices of stuff, you've either got to go second hand, because you look now, a sight, target sight, 400 quid.
Yep.
Target bow. I had a look. Everybody's on about how expensive the new Matthews title is. I think it's 1,400 quid over here. When I was looking the other day, the Bowtech Reckoning Gen 2 is even more expensive.
Yeah.
So you want to buy a Bowtech or a Matthews over here, that's 1,400 or 1,500 quid on a bow. Then you've got 2,500 quid on a rest.
Yep.
400 quid on a sight.
Yep.
300 quid on a scope and lens.
Well, add for the lens.
Yeah.
Because the scope doesn't come with the lens.
No. UV does, doesn't it? But
UV
that's
does.
370 quid. 369. Yeah.
Yeah. And that depends if you go for the XL or the standard.
Yeah. Then particularly if you want to use a Matthews integrated bars, 200 quid for a back mount, 300 quid for a rod, extra weights at 30 quid a pop. Even Axels, I had 200 odd quid for a front bar. You very quickly looking, by the time you've added arrows, and if you get talked into using tungsten points, decent release aid, compound wise, you can be easily looking $4,000.
Definitely.
To get in.
Definitely. Yeah. All day long. Yeah.
Now, if it was that money when I started shooting, I wouldn't have even thought about it.
Yeah. Or you'd be going down the second-hand route.
Yeah.
So, there is that option to do the second-hand route, and there's some great websites now.
Sellmybow.com.
Sell my bow. No plug-in. Sellmybow.com.
See more
you
and
can
more,
sponsor the back of my shirt.
See more and more bows from the States being advertised in there, so it's picking up a lot of traction.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I saw my Prime advertised.
Yeah.
Messaged the guy, and when he messaged back, it turned out it was Simon.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I honestly think the Chinese stuff, and it does seem to be getting better and better quality. You still see the crap on Amazon, and
you do, but the good stuff. I can only talk about Sandleader because I've used Sandleader stuff.
Yeah.
You can buy something second hand and not know that it's going to work when you get it.
Yeah.
And not have any warranty with it at all. Or you could go to your local shop and you can buy a Sandleader scope or a Sandleader sight bar, pay a fraction of the price of one of the bigger names, and you've got a year's warranty with it. And you've got the dealer backup. They'll help you set it up, and they'll, all the backup is there, just the same as if you bought a Shrewd or an XL or whatever.
Yeah, it is. It's. You'll have to excuse the dogs going mental, folks. Somebody's just knocked the door, so the dogs are having a tit fit. Small dogs, big mouths. I say it's a fan. I honestly think the Chinese gear is a good way to get into archery.
Yeah, definitely.
It makes it affordable for people.
Yeah, yeah, because you can buy. As I say, I'm shooting the Sandleader X10. You could buy that bow. You could buy the Sandleader sight bar, the Sandleader scope. You can even buy Sandleader stabilizers. Just get an average rest and an average release aid, and it's not going to cost you the same as buying all the prime and the true ball and everything else. So you could be into it, and you're spending £1,500 as opposed to £4,000.
Yeah, it's a massive drop in price, and then of course,
and just build it up
the
after
gateway.
that.
Then. You are going to be looking at the American manufacturers.
You're going to change things. You're going to put a Hamsky on there, Hamsky Rescue. You're going to put a Trophy Ridge sight bar on there, whatever. But yeah, exactly.
Then you've got the gateway, you've got the introduction, and then you start building things up. I know Devin Merritt, Merritt Outdoors. I think his wife started on a Sandleader. Is it the Dragon 8? The little hunting bow. She started on that, and now she's moved up. It is a way of bringing more and more folks into the sport, because at the moment, with the way inflation is and the way prices are going up, newcomers are going to be priced out of the sport, certainly out of compounds. They're going to be, it's going to be trad, they're more looking at it to come as an affordable level.
It's affordable, yeah.
Wooden arrows.
Yeah.
Couple of quid a shaft, build them yourself.
I wish I knew that when I bought some wooden arrows. I got shafted for 72 quid for a set of 12.
Ready made.
Ready made, yeah.
That's why you got the labour there.
I was lazy.
You? Yeah. No, couple of quid a shaft. I mean, Skyline are doing feathers now, $5.95 for 24.
There you go.
You look at Gateway, they're about £7 for 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, and to be honest, a feather's a feather. As long as they're all right wing or left wing.
Oh, yeah.
Come off a turkey.
Is a vein a vein?
No, but a 3-inch shield cut is a 3-inch shield cut.
Yeah. True.
3-inch parabolic's a 3-inch parabolic.
If you say so.
See, we've got.
I'm not a feather person, so
we've gone
wrong
from
person to talk to on that one.
We've gone from Dave having 9 inches down to 3 inches now.
3 inches and a feather.
That reminds me of the old Steve Wright in the afternoon. Linda's Lust Lines, Rotarian the Rotarian. 3 inches and a feather.
Way too young to
No,
remember.
you're not.
Oh, of course I am. That's why I got arthritis.
I've been really impressed with those Skyline arrows. I've got another dozen upstairs that I'm going to do a video. I did a live on Instagram, taking the edge out. And the edge of 39 quid for a dozen shafts I paid. They came with inserts and nocks. The only downside is their inserts are really short.
Okay.
They're about half the length of the gold tip and the Eastern.
Right.
Putting them in with hot melt, no matter how much hot melt I used, they were pulling out of 3Ds.
Yeah.
So I've gone to Gorilla Glue to put them in. But it's up on the... Check out the Archery Geek Outdoors Instagram page. Oh, you're up there. There you are. Check it out. You'll see a live and 0.6 of a grain across a dozen shafts.
It's good, isn't it?
It's
good.
Fucking amazing.
It's good. You know?
It is amazing.
So tell me now that the Chinese can't make a good arrow.
Well, we all know Eastern's carbon extruded and their aluminium carbon arrows are all out of their factory in Utah.
Yeah.
But they're cheaper and stuff. It's produced abroad anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I've heard rumours. Some have said it's China. Some have said it's Korea.
It's Asia.
Yeah.
Let's just round it up.
I mean, Victory and Gold Tip. I think Gold Tip are still in Mexico, aren't they? Victory are in Mexico. I mean, it's only across the border. But again, like I say, I think there's only Eastern actually producing arrows in the US, and that's their high-end arrows.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, when the costs for manufacturing are so much cheaper elsewhere in the world,
Yeah.
you're going to do that, aren't you, to keep your profits high?
And I mean, it's prohibitively expensive to produce carbon fibre in the States anyway.
Mm.
From what I've read, there are that many EPA directives you've got to go through that it just...
Yeah, crazy.
What's the point?
But it's not just the arrows, is it? It's you know, look at risers. Where'd you make a Hoyt riser now?
Hoyt carbon riser.
Yeah, where's a Hoyt carbon riser, mate?
Yes. This keeps getting bandied about. Every time Archery Hooligan puts up something about Chinese bows, one of the first comments is, just like your Hoyt carbon riser. Although PSCs apparently is all produced.
Point, shoot, explode.
Yeah. Hey, I had one do it.
Yeah.
Bow Madness Epics, stood holding at full draw, just trying to slow everything down. I was on a counting to 10 before I went for my trigger. Got to, I think it's about 4, and there's a god almighty bang. The bus cable snapped at the top of the left-hand yoke. Jesus, that's scary.
Yeah.
The limbs went farther than the arrow.
Yeah.
Limbs went farther than the arrow. Shooting Saturday at Paget. Mark's got a Super RTX. I mean, that's a lovely bow to shoot, that is. Really nice bow to shoot. But we went for a round in the woods, first couple of targets, and it's sounding like a centre shot rifle. It really is. It's bang, bang. Christ.
Oh, dear.
He said, I'm not happy with this. I'm going to go out, have a look at it, see if there's anything wrong. He had a look, couldn't see anything obviously wrong. Put one at the practice butts. and the left-hand side of the bottom cam split. Yes, so that's going in under warranty.
Yeah, I can imagine.
He said he thinks he may have it repaired, then sell it on. So I might be in the market for a Super RTX in the new year.
Hey, new bow day.
Mate, it's a lovely, lovely bow to shoot. Really, really nice to shoot. I've shot it a few times, and I've really, really enjoyed it. So, oh God, I've lost a train of thought now. I'm completely gone, blanked out. I'm having a blonde moment, or is it a senior moment?
Well, yeah, it's definitely a senior moment. Oh dear, combined age in the room.
Yeah.
No, let's not do that one.
Into the century.
Oh yes.
How old are you?
55 this year.
2 years older than me.
Hey.
I'm 53 this year.
Yeah, turn vet.
No, next year. Fucking, I'm thinking we're in 2024 already.
No, we're not 2024 yet.
No.
It's a few more weeks.
Yeah, 53 for me next year. And in all fairness, feeling better than I've felt in years.
I don't even remember being 53. I think I've been 55 for about 10 years.
How old are you? What's your next birthday? 21st for the 30th time?
That's the one. That's the one.
No, so I know you get so much hate the Chinese stuff, but it is the gateway to get in, and we need to grow the sport. It's such an amazing sport to be involved in.
Definitely.
And I say we need this entry-level stuff, and people will buy up when they use it. I mean, you're not going to spunk $4,000 if you're not convinced you're going to enjoy it.
Well, yeah, and especially if you just take the word of somebody else at the club who's shooting all the, the prime, the trophy ridge, this, to that, and they say, oh yeah, you've got to get this, you've got to get that, because this is, if you don't have it, you're not going to be shooting the scores. But that's absolute rubbish.
Aggressive spending really doesn't make a good archer. Lots and lots of practice makes a good archer.
Yeah, what's that say? The more I practice, the luckier I get.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it better to be good or lucky?
Oh, lucky. I'm never going to be good, so I can get away with that.
You can blame your Chinese bow, mate.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, rule book 101.
Yeah, so I remember watching when Stephen Hand over at Archery Supplies did the review of the PSC Stinger X a long time ago. The lad that came second in the Australian Open was shooting a PSC Stinger X and power flight arrows against a kid with a $2,000 bow.
Exactly.
And $700 arrows.
Exactly. I remember, so I started shooting when I was about 11. I had a long break, don't worry. And I always remember my parents used to take us around all the big shoots. So we used to go to the European Champions, World Championships, all the rest of them. And there were some amazing characters back in the 80s. Some people might remember a chap called Jim Spooner, who used to shoot a longbow. But you could give him a bamboo cane and he'd still hit a Coke can at 25 yards.
You know what?
It wasn't an arrow. It was just,
one of my friends, Timsy, is like that.
Just
you could give him a pencil with an elastic band on it,
yeah,
and a 3-foot-long broom handle to shoot,
yeah,
and within 3 shots he'd be hitting 24s. He's just one of those genuinely gifted, lucky fuckers.
Yeah,
that can.
Yeah,
he does it.
Yeah,
he does it, doesn't he?
Absolutely. Use the force.
Yeah,
I've got it.
The rest of us have to work at it. We have to practice.
Yeah,
and you get the likes of Tim. He just walks up, picks it up. Let's try this. Bump. Yep. Straight in. I mean, he moved away from the area, came back down to Paget one day, and bear in mind he hadn't shot in over 6 months. Pulls his bow out, and he's drilling 24s from arrow 1. It's like, Jesus Christ. And he said, well, different arrows, my sight's out, so I'm having to guess where I've got to hold my sight. And I'm thinking, go on, rub it in, mate, there's the wound, rub the fucking salt in, will you? And when it shoots recurve, I wish I could shoot a compound as well as he shoots a recurve.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's just one of those that...
It works the other way as well, though, because you see the likes of Tony West and James Mason, Chris White shooting on the line, and they've got the £5,000 bow setup, but they're not shooting the scores because they've got a £5,000 setup. They're shooting the scores because they practice every day and they are just that bloody good.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I must admit, I get nervous. They do say the way to improve is to shoot with shooters a lot better than you. I was shitting myself when I shot the Bow Hunters day one with Tony and Simon. I was a nervous fucking wreck, and it was fascinating to watch them.
Two of the nicest guys that you'll meet on the line.
They are. It was fascinating to watch them, and it was a bloody masterclass in shooting.
Yeah.
But I was shaking like a shitting dog all day, and I didn't shoot well. Shot with Andy and Dave on the Sunday and laughed my way around the course.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
you try. You straight away the pressure's on from target one. Yeah. That first shot, they've both shot 24s, and you're thinking, "Oh my God, here we go."
Yeah,
can't let the side down.
It's his right with practice. Copy, he's shooting every day now.
Copy, yeah.
Jesus Christ, he can't miss.
Yeah. But that's what it takes,
Yeah.
And if you want to be at that level, that's what it takes.
Yeah.
I'm way past that level. I'm way
standing
past
there, you use your binoculars to look up that far.
Well, no, I'm way past trying to do the practice, because if I tried to do the practice, I'd fall apart. Quite frankly, I'd shoot myself through the bow.
You need to get your wife to put you on a training regime.
Yeah, okay. Less said about that, the better. I've just bought a treadmill, because I've got to lose a bit of weight to get the bloods down and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And so I bought a treadmill. Not one that is just for me. So I bought it so the wife could use it as well. So I had to buy one with the elevation, so it goes up and down, but not one that you have to get off, go around the front and put a lever up so that it goes up. No. It's got to be one with the button. Gym quality.
Gym quality.
Yeah. So then I had to get the next one up from that as well, because I'm not a small guy. I'm quite wide. So when you look at the width of these things, I thought, well, if I'm even walking on that and you've got the bars at the side to hold on to, which I need, I'm going to be really claustrophobic. So I had to get like the extra wide version.
HGV coming through.
So I've got this fuck off great big bloody treadmill in my conservatory. Yeah. And it gets used about once a month.
Look, where you live, you have to have tetanus jabs every time you come through Watford Gap. You could just run on the roads,
that's right, walk on the
roads.
I got cleared at customs, no problem.
Thing is, when you've been up here, will they let you back in?
Oh yeah, no, because I'm southern, proper southern.
And you drive an electric car.
No, it's not electric. It's a hybrid.
It's electric.
It's hybrid. It has a petrol motor, especially for when I'm speeding on the motorway, which I never do.
And so it's all the way up the M40's average speed cameras, don't you?
No, there's no speed cameras on the M40. Not past when they first come on. Yeah, just after the M42 junction.
Yeah, all fucking average.
There's no cameras.
Speed. Oh,
it's great. No, because I have camera warning come up, which is really handy, because when you're doing about 85 to 95, it goes pig. You've got about a good couple of minutes to slow back down to a sensible speed.
Yeah, but does that work for the average speed cameras as well?
No, because they're average, so you have to.
Yeah,
the average ones you have to go through.
They're phasing out the standard ones now, and everything's going average speed, isn't it?
Oh, there's nasty ones in Cornwall. The ones in Cornwall,
they're cutting them down.
No, they overhang the carriageway, and as you drive through, they can actually see what you're doing. So if you're on the phone, which you're not supposed to be, they can pick you up for being on the phone.
Yeah, the Cornish are hating them. They're cutting them down. I think they're taking a lesson from the Blade Runners in London.
Hey. My favourite place in the world.
Oh, God, no. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Well, you don't like Cornwall?
No, London.
Oh, London. I was gonna say, yeah, nobody likes London. God, even the people that live in London.
I'd say
London.
my lad loves it there, but so I think he's looking to move out because it's getting so fucking ridiculously expensive now.
Yeah.
Everything is.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, my mother-in-law lives in London. She lives in Ealing, where they've just expanded the congestion zone. Not the congestion zone, the ULEZ. So we went to change her car because she has a diesel car and it's a 2005 or something like that. So we go to change her car. So we found a car for her to change. We put the deposit down, go away to get the insurance. They wanted 4 times the amount to insure it. Ridiculous petrol car. So she says, no, I'm not doing that. So we cancelled the order. And so she now has to pay £12 every time she drives off her driveway.
That's insane, isn't it? But it's hitting,
it's a tax for the poor, really.
Yeah, it's hitting the people that can least afford to pay it because.
And we have.
If you're on a 6-figure salary,
a little bit here.
Yeah, if you've got a 6-figure salary, you can go out and buy a ULEZ compliant car.
Exactly my point.
But even the second-hand, ULEZ compliant cars now are going through the roof.
Yeah, but hey, do you know what though?
Well,
good old MG, it's Chinese brand, and yes, it's cheap and cheerful, but it does the job.
It's cheap and nasty.
Come on, MG.
The little C1 outside was bought 6 years ago. And when Bethany was learning to drive, she swung onto the drive and scraped it up the side of the wall. It's now worth more than we paid for it 6 years ago because it's ULEZ compliant.
And do you want to know what the really ironic thing is?
Go on.
If you buy let's say a Jaguar XKR 5 litre supercharged on a 2010, it don't have to pay the ULEZ.
No.
So you can scream round London.
I can't get my hat round
to
it.
60 in 4.6 seconds and not pay it. It's great.
2013 Ford Mondeo 2-litre diesel. The government says it's so clean. The vehicle excise duty is 0 because it is so clean.
Absolutely.
ULEZ cities tell you it's so dirty.
Yeah.
And this is my thing. It is a scam because if they were causing that much harm to people, they wouldn't say, you can come in if you pay. They'd say, fuck off, you're not coming in. Those cars are banned.
Yeah.
There we go.
Anyway.
I love going off at side. I love getting sidetracked.
Sidetracked? That wasn't that was side railed.
Mate, it's always more fun. People say they prefer it when I don't script, when I just hit record and just waffle on.
Like you are.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
I love waffling. Right, Trophy Ridge sites.
Oh,
come on!
You had to bring that up.
Yeah, of course. You spunked. What was it? £350?
About 300 quid.
300 quid.
Yeah, for a site that
on a Trophy Ridge React Digital
in the UK
in competition.
In competition. Yeah. Okay, so how this has come about? Right, as I've said, I'm an old fucker. Which means that my eyesight's not the best.
Yep.
I'm sure there's a lot of archers that have similar issues.
Mine was fine until I started spending 9 hours a day staring at a computer screen at work.
I thought you were going to say until you're staring at something else. Let's keep it clean.
What was on the computer screen, though?
Yeah, good point. So, yeah, it started off with one of the guys in the club had bought this Trophy Ridge React Digital, and he convinced me that it was legal because it doesn't shoot a beam down to the target and it doesn't measure the target. It doesn't do any kind of range finding or anything else. All it does is it shows you in a digital format the distance that you are shooting at, which you've set by turning the wheel manually. So it doesn't even electronically adjust.
It is just a digital side scale, isn't it?
It's just a site scale that's digital.
And I remember, I don't know if you ever saw, do you ever watch any of Brandon McDonald's videos on YouTube? He tested all the high-end sites and he was screaming, site tapes, I hate site tapes. Yep, somebody's got to come up with a better thing of a site tape. And lo and behold,
it's brilliant.
Just a digital display.
It is absolutely brilliant.
You can use it, you can you have got the...
That you can have a sight tape as
Yeah.
well, but the whole point for me is to get away from sight tapes
You can
because I
read it.
can't see a bloody sight tape. So I wear one pair of glasses to look at a sight tape, the same pair of glasses to write a score down, a different pair of glasses to shoot through so that I can see the target. So I'm constantly changing glasses. So the whole point of buying this sight was to do away with that. And you know, because I can actually shoot without wearing glasses at all. So yeah, that was the point of it. But the issue arose when a fellow club member of mine at White Mark Bowman put on Facebook, "Can I use this in the Bow Hunters next year?" So Bow Hunters is a competition put on by EFAA, English Field Archery Association. And it's an unmarked course, 3D. So as I'm also a committee member, as you've already said, on the EFAA committee, I put a quiet text into some of the guys on the committee to ask whether or not the Trophy Ridge React Digital is in fact a legal site. Because if you look on the IFAA website, and in fact the EFAA Archer's Handbook, it says that the site is legal, that is any recognised site by the IFAA. Well, there is no list that tells you if the site is recognised by the IFAA.
I was going to say, so in theory, if there was a list, every time a new site came out,
Yeah.
they'd have to amend the list.
They'd have to put it on the list. So there's no list. So how do you know if a site is recognised or not? But it does say that there's a note of exclusion, which is any site that is electronic. Now, lighting kits have been excluded from that, and lighting kits have been accepted on the sites for quite some time now, quite a few years, even on the 5-pin bow hunter setup as well.
Yeah.
But the question is the Trophy Ridge digital a digital site or an electronic site? Because the wording says electronic site. And as far as I'm aware, it's just a digital readout. However, it's not. Because the true
There's
fact
an awful lot of electronic gubbins in there
the true fact
to
of it
get
is,
that digital display to work.
Yes, there is. There's a lot of electronic gubbins in there because it gives you 5 profiles, which means that you could effectively shoot that same setup, but with different arrows for indoor, 3D, target, whatever. So you know, because if
So
you're
instead
on
of having to put a new site tape on every time, you just hit the profile,
hit a button,
and away you go.
It. Yeah, because if you're on a 3D, you might want your fat arrows or medium sized arrows. If you're on a indoor, you might want your fat arrows, and if you're on a field or a hunt around, you might want your skinnies because you're going to get less arrow damage on your skinnies. So it has that as a benefit. It also enables you to sight in at 20 and 40 yards, and then it just works the rest out for you.
See, I've got the
And
original Trophy Ridge React. I bought it in 2015. It's not the Pro. They called it Co-Ballistic Polymer. It does need changing now. Of course, I have abused the hell out of that sight. Bow's been knocked over. It's been dropped, all sorts. I never used to dry it when I was shooting in the rain, so the threads are all rusting now.
Yeah,
It works a treat, but the head wobbles like that.
yeah.
So at some point, I am going to have to get... Yeah. But I took the Kuma out last Saturday with it on and shot lovely. I mean, it's got to be the first time in 3-4 months, possibly more, that I'd shot the Kuma. And I'm thinking, I'm going to be able to pull this back because I'm used to pulling 62 pounds. That bugger's 74 pounds. Yeah. Oh my God. No problem at all.
Yeah.
I had a play on the practice field couple of rounds in the wood, so I put a good 60 arrows through it. And I've still got it to draw the curtain.
Still got it.
Mate, it is such an absolute joy to shoot. But it's like driving a performance car that hasn't got ABS, traction control and all that bollocks on it.
Yeah.
You've got to be on top of it. And when you're on top of it, and it is so fucking quiet. The Prime's quiet. But the Bear is just like, boop, when it goes off.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice.
So I'm gonna break that out a lot more and shoot that more.
Well,
I've got to stay on top of it.
When that site needs replacing, get a Trophy Ridge.
I am not spunking 300 quid on a site that I can't use.
But wait until it's been legalised. So, and on that point, so the two main societies in the UK,
Field
NFAS,
Archery Societies.
Field Archery. Yeah.
Although Archery GB are getting more heavily into field,
yeah,
aren't
but
they?
you can't even have a light kit on your site.
Oh, World Archery rules. That's why the UV has got the pop-off light, hasn't
Exactly that. Yeah, you've got a blanking plate. Yeah, so you take out the light kit and put the blanking plate in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we have NFAS, NFAS, depends on whereabouts you are, I suppose.
Yep.
And we have EFAA, which comes under the IFAA regs.
Yeah.
So I should say, I suppose, out in America, they have NFAA, which comes under IFAA, International Field Archery Association, and the site is actually legally shot through NFAA, as it is also through ASD. ASA.
Yeah.
So it's legal in the States. So they've obviously either self-governed it to be legal, or they've already approached the IFAA. Now, NFAS here in the UK is having a vote on whether or not it should be included as a legal site. So that in the next newsletter, I believe it is, there will be a vote, which is you can only enter it if you're an unlimited archer.
Because it's a class-specific rule.
Class-specific rule.
Yeah.
And they will ask the unlimited archers whether or not they want to accept the Trophy Ridge as a legal site.
So I can't see why there'd be a problem, because, like I said, all it is, it's a digital display. It doesn't project dots. Nope. It hasn't got laser beams. It doesn't range find.
Nope.
It's just a slider sight, but with a digital display, you can actually bloody read.
Exactly that.
So I take a magnifying glass around the course to read my sight tape.
That's exactly the point, of getting that sight, so that you don't have to do that. But are we? If we say it's not legal, are we saying then that unlimited class is actually limited, and it's not unlimited?
Yeah. Makes sense, though, just to get a clarification on it, doesn't it?
It absolutely needs clarifying. But I can't see why people really would say no to it if you're in an unlimited class.
I was going to say, it's not giving anyone an unfair advantage. It
doesn't make me a better shooter.
It's just a slider sight. I said this to me, aggressive spending doesn't equal better shooting.
Absolutely. The only thing I would say is that because you can see the digital readout, it's less likely to make that mistake of putting the wrong sight mark on your bow when you come up to the peg. You think you read it's 34, you think you put it on 34, and you realise you put it on 43 after you put the arrow straight over the top.
This is why I use a magnifying glass.
And it does that. But unlimited is about negating all the silly mistakes, all the small mistakes. You minimise those, and your scores go up. So that's its real advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I did it at the Bow Hunters, which shot a 30-odd yard target, come down to another one that's 17 yards, and I simply never changed my sight.
Yeah,
and just
crazy.
winged away over the top of this
Straight
boat.
over.
Well, you know how small the 3D crow is, so you can't afford, you know, if it's an elk or something, 20 yards difference, and you got a chance of still hitting foam.
Yeah.
A 3D crow shooting it for nearly 40 yards when it's at 17. There's no way on God's green earth you're going to hit it.
No chance.
That'd be interesting to see the outcome of that. Now,
So, and just as another point, IFAA, they have to apply to the tech committee of the IFAA to get it legalised here for English Field Archery Association, which can be a lengthy process. If it gets approved through NFAS, that won't be legal until I believe it's the 1st of April 2024. So at the moment,
that's the start of the new membership year, isn't it?
Well, at the moment, it basically means that the Trophy Ridge is not a legal site for competition shooting in the UK currently.
Yeah, which is a shame because it's a fantastic idea.
It's a great site. It's a great site. And as soon as that's legal, I can just see sales going through the roof on that, because a lot of people are going to get to know about it, because a lot of people are now going to have to vote on it.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are going to be researching this. And it's a great site.
Devin Merritt swears by him.
Yeah.
He's got one, and he says probably the best site he's used, and he's had all kinds.
Yeah. It's so easy to use. And I love that big dial.
Oh. You just love playing with a big knob, don't you?
Mate. Only chance to get a big knob in my hand.
And we're back on to 9 hours a day on the computer.
It just rotates smoothly, you know. It's just, yeah, so much easier than you know, those little tiny twiddly. That's red, isn't it? Especially when you've just shot 80 yards and you come up to the next one and it's 15. You're there twiddling for bloody ages.
Why don't you use the course adjust and just lob it?
Yeah, but then you get out of sync.
I
get out of sync because you can easily put it onto, and it's not, you know. What I do is I zero it on the top, and then I can move it, and then I can let it hit one of the notches. Then I know it's synced. But
I'd always wondered this: if you slide it, and it's like,
you could be half out easy.
Yeah, you know, like how many clicks are there? 10 around the top.
Depends on the site. Some are 10 and some are 24.
So if you got 24 and you're 11/24, if you've come down a bit, how do you
know that's
part
accurate?
past? Yeah, how do you know you're getting the exact 11/24?
Exactly. That's why I twiddle it all the way, even from it when it's 80 to.
I thought there must
25.
be some kind of safeguard there that I was just being thick and not realising. But like I say, I shot that
just
Avalon.
For clarification, we are thick.
Yeah.
But
I had that Avalon.
No, that's right.
What was it? A Tech 1? Avalon Tech 1. And I'd got it on a Matthews Apex 7. And God, did I hate that bow. It was like having a slab of concrete in your hands. It was so heavy. And of course, our longest target of Paget is 40-odd yards, because we've only got the small wood. So I sighted me 20 yards in, and then shot the entire round with it set on 20 yards, just holding over, guessing how far I'd got to hold over.
Yeah, nice.
So I was too bloody lazy to get a whole set of sight marks in.
one pin it all the way around.
Yep.
I think that's a competition in that.
Top pin lifestyle. top pin lifestyle. What's that? Bow Disciples.
Was it?
Yeah. Have you ever watched them on YouTube?
I'm terrible at any of that, really.
Oh, I love it. Well, you know, Carl Douglas and Tim Gillingham got binned off by Bowtech.
Yes.
When Greg Poole announced it, I stuck a comment under it. Does this mean Bow Disciples are going to be getting the Bowtechs now? And lo and behold, James Visser's always shot Bowtech.
Yeah.
As long as I've been following him on YouTube, he's always had Bowtechs. And
good bow.
Yeah, they've got a very high social media presence, particularly amongst the hunting community.
Yep.
And
yeah, I've got a Bowtech. I've got a Carbon Knight. It's quite an old one, but it's 2.4 kilograms. It's the lightest bow I've ever held in my life.
Is that with everything on it?
With everything on it. Yeah.
Jesus.
It's lighter than
That
some
Matthews
people's stabilisers.
That Apex 7 would have been twice that as a fucking bear bow.
Yeah. It's great for when you've got bad shoulders. Yeah, great bows.
Yeah, I must admit, I do like the idea. The old flip disc, they've been running for ages. I mean, they used to have performance, comfort and standard, and now it's just performance and comfort. I like that, and their way of tuning it without a press.
Yeah.
But Athens
makes it really
have
easy.
just launched their new bows, and they've got a similar type of thing. But theirs is patented, so it's obviously not a knockoff of Bowtech's or a knockoff of Elite's.
No.
So Bowtech learned the hard way about patent infringement when Matthews sued them, didn't they?
Well, come on. If someone comes up with a good idea, you're going to try and copy it, aren't you?
Oh God, yeah.
You know, look at Aston Martin and Red Bull.
Not into
that's right,
cars.
Yeah. You just nick the tech guy. Yeah.
Well, hang on, didn't that happen with? Didn't VDub, when VDub launched the pumper diesel engine, hadn't they had the tech guy from one of the Japanese manufacturers?
Probably.
Pinched him from one of the Japanese factories. I remember I was used to driving like old Escort diesel vans where the only way you could brake 60 mile an hour was to take it off a cliff.
Yeah.
And when the Focus 1.8 TDCi came out on the Mark 1, jumped in that, put my foot down like you would in an old Escort turbo diesel van.
Yep.
And the thing just took off. It's like, oh, I love this.
Yeah, but you can't drive that now. It's too expensive.
Oh God, yeah. They've all rotted away to nothing anyway, haven't they?
Yeah.
Right. The other thing I wanted to touch on. I've said before how much I enjoy shooting in mixed groups. Yep. I love shooting with archers that shoot other styles of bows. And
it's fascinating to see how they do it.
I've said it before. I am so envious of people that can shoot intuitively.
Yeah.
Where they never. Andy Hazeldine at Paget, we were talking the one day, and I was on about a yardage. He said, Rich, I've never judged a yardage in my life. He said, I just look and think it's about there.
Yeah.
And lob an arrow.
Yeah.
We did a round of Paget, and with his recurve, shoots bare bow. So Enfast bare bow. He was within an inch of my knock every single target.
Yeah.
And I love shooting with people that I love seeing the bows. There are some absolutely stunning bows out there, particularly the trad bows.
Yeah.
They look gorgeous. I like shooting with crossbows, long bows, flat bows. Yeah. I love shooting with mixed groups because I am so envious of folks that can shoot those well. But we do, I don't know whether it's certain voices in the trad community. At the moment, there seems to be an awful lot of friction developing.
Yeah, there is.
Particularly towards compound shooters.
I think we've both had or seen an element of that in various competitions that we've been to. Yeah. It's difficult, isn't it? Because it's frustrating. From my point of view, it's frustrating because I don't shoot in slow groups. I don't think any group that I've shot in, it would be responsible for holding up groups behind, other than the fact that there's groups in front of us that are holding us up.
Yeah, I mean, when I was shooting my 5-pin React, when I'd shooting at Paget, folks said to me, "God, you're a quick shooter for a compound."
Why? Most compounders I know are quick shots.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know.
Come on, mate. Your missus has been telling you that for years. You're a quick shot.
No, it's premature, mate. Premature. That's why my scores are so bad as well.
I was talking to Angel, and I've got a trad bow. I love shooting. When I break it out about once a year, my trad bow, Of course, I'm shit with it.
Maybe it's because you only break it out once a year.
Yeah. It is fun to shoot. I only cost it a £40 Mandarin Duck Black Hunter.
Yeah.
And I'm shooting 400 spine arrows out of it that are cut down to 28 inches. So to break the spine down, I've got 100 grain brass insert in there and 175 grain points.
Nice.
But bloody hell do they fly nice. When they start to drop off, they go like a lemon off a cliff.
Yeah.
You know, suddenly across, oh, there we go.
Yeah, so what's your range on that? 50 yards?
Farthest I've shot it, I went over to Rob Jones's place, and he's got 40 from the one peg, we'd got 40 yards in his back garden, and I thought, right, I'll stick the point of the arrow on the top of the boss and see what happens. And went sailing over the top of the bugger. It's because they're just carrying so much momentum.
Yeah.
Like I say, they stay up, but when they drop, they go like a stone.
Yeah.
They just fall out of the sky.
Yeah. Yeah, a bit like mine.
Yeah. But I mean, so I'm in a couple of Facebook traditional archery groups, and on the one there's a post come up the one day. Join this group, folks, and I promise you'll never have to look at a sighted bow again. I'm thinking, what's going on?
It's frustrating. It's frustrating because, you know, at the end of the day, we're all archers.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're shooting a crossbow or a stick bow, a jelly stick bow.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a beginner or if you're an advanced archer, it doesn't make any difference. Crossbow even, it's still a bow. So I don't get why there's so much animosity between some factions within the sport.
I can't wrap my head around it, because I love to shoot with mixed groups. They're fantastic to shoot with. It opens up your eyes. It gives you new experiences. And at the end of the day, we're a minority sport. We saw with crossbows, there were a couple of idiots committed crimes with crossbows.
Yeah.
Government started looking into legislating them. The easiest way for a government to bring in legislation is divide and conquer, and while archers are divided, it's like the hunting community.
Yeah.
You know, rifle hunters don't like bow hunters don't like crossbow hunters.
Oh, nobody likes anyone.
No.
Hey, perhaps it is just a case of the sport, the actual age demographic of the sport is now creeping upwards somewhat dramatically because we're not getting any newbies in at the lower ranks. So maybe we're just all like Victor Meldrew and we're all just swearing at each other regardless.
Social media doesn't help this, though. I mean, you look on some of the society pages when binos comes up. Oh, my God.
Oh,
You'd think they were asking to gang bang your sacred aunt.
Absolutely.
Why? Oh, there was one comment that somebody said, well, if they allow the use of binoculars in this class, we'll start a separate society. Why?
Good luck.
They're not saying you have to use them. You don't have to use them if you don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you don't want to and somebody else is, then it's giving them an advantage, surely.
Depends if you know where the kill is. My eyes aren't good enough to see the kills on some of these now.
Oh, even with a pair of binoculars.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
and by the time you've put your binoculars down and brought your bow up, it's gone anyway.
Oh,
even if you could see it before.
Ah, crap.
You're lucky just to see the target at that point.
Joy was telling me she was at the one shoots, and she said, am I shooting the what's name? I said, no, the owl. She said, where's the owl?
What owl? Yeah. Well, at the Dots 3D, and they had that, was it the Black Panther or the Black Boar in that hole?
You're on about last year's?
This year's.
I honestly can't remember.
There was a target. It was about.
I remember
about
last year's
45
bow hunters.
yards.
Zach put the howling wolf.
Yeah.
You were shooting down off that mound, 45 yards, and it was 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah. Black target, a black hole.
Yeah, inside.
So tell me that a pair of binoculars helps. Because by the time you put your binoculars down, you've come up onto the target, it's gone.
Oh, shit.
You're lucky to see the target.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is bewildering why some people would want to block or object against using something which is their choice if you want to use it or if you don't want to use it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's your choice.
God, for ages I didn't use binos. Then when they were allowed, Carl lent me a little pair of 7B25s, which I got at last year's Bow Hunters, and ended up...
the Vortex?
No, Carl had lent me a little pair of 7B25 jobbies.
Right.
Carl from Paget.
Oh, okay.
And then I tried your 10B50 Vortex and decided in the curry house on the Saturday night.
That's right, on the Saturday night, yeah.
You are a bad influence,
Sunday
Mr.
morning, you were there picking them up.
I got Joy messaging Al furiously. Message Al, tell him if he's still got that pair, put them to one side for me, I'll have them.
On the van, wasn't there?
Yeah, to be honest, they are fantastic binos.
They do make a difference.
Don't they just?
Yeah.
Don't they just?
For an unlimited, they make a difference because we have the advantage of a scope on the end of your sight. So when you come up onto that target, you're looking for the 3 dots on the back of the cat, and it's like, whoa, it's them 3 there, bang.
This year was the first year I've shot a lens. My first, yeah.
Okay.
I shot.
How did you find that?
Bow Hunters and Dots last year without a lens.
Did you find it easier or harder?
Weird, because you don't realise you're going to get that pin float magnified through a lens.
Oh, yeah.
I went with
pros and cons, isn't it?
Yeah, I went with a 4 times because I didn't want to. Everybody said if you go with a 6 times, 6 power, you're going to need a clarifier.
Yeah. Well, it depends on your eyesight.
We shoot outdoor all the time.
I need a clarifier and a pair of glasses. Preferably someone moving the target a lot closer so I can see.
In our climate, we're prone to a lot of rain, and I didn't want to use a clarifier. It means a new peep.
Yeah.
So that's what, 30 quid on a peep.
Yeah, because you want one where you can take them in, take them out.
And then how much on a clarifier?
Yeah.
40, 50 quid?
Yeah, yeah. And you build up a set. So you're spending it's 180 quid before you know it.
And because we get a lot of rain, I remember watching one of the World Archery Compound finals, and Sarah Lopez completely missed the target. She not only missed the target, she missed the boss with the first arrow. It was raining, and she'd got water on a clarifier. So I went with a 4 power, bought it from Downrange Optics in the States, had it in amber, because that's supposed to brighten everything up. Mm-hmm. I've now switched to a clear because in certain lighting conditions, the amber one was amazing. But a couple of shots at the Bow Hunters, I had to take my lens out because the sun flare was so bad on it, on the yellow lens, that I literally couldn't see what I was shooting. Yeah. I found at sunset it was all right. But in bright light, it just flared horribly. Yeah. Like I say, when all you can see is a boss, you can't see a paper face or a 3D in front of it, you think, Christ, was this a good decision? So in the end, I went with, is it Doc's Choice? Doc's Choice lens. Went and picked it up from Merlin. Well, I paid 42 quid, including shipping, for the lens from the States. Yeah. And they do a premium one. No, that's a polymer. To be honest, this Doc's Choice feels like polymer, and that was 77 quid, but there's only been a couple of occasions where I've had so much sun flare that I can't see. But I'm fortunate that Mark 3D printed me a pair of sunshades. Yep. To go on my AV41 scope.
Definitely worth it.
What did he say? I think it's about 80 pence worth of fibre in each one. Yeah. And because I was a test run, he wouldn't let me pay for them either. It's like, bloody hell, Mark.
eBay shop for...
I said he should do that, because, I mean, you look at the Excel sunshades, and they're only just a semicircle, aren't they? And they're, 40-odd quid a piece?
Oh, I couldn't tell you, because
if you can get them.
UV XL3. And I've got a massive shade on that.
Do they come with them?
No, and Ultraview don't actually produce them either. I had it 3D printed in the States. Yeah. I got the contact through Optics 300, if I'm allowed to say that.
Tan Ranch.
Yeah. What an amazing guy. So yeah.
Well, I'd looked at his lenses when I ordered the one from Downrange, and I thought, first lens, I'll just go with a cheap one. And Downrange had got really good reviews. Like I say, in the right light, it's a fantastic lens. It really is. But in bright sunlight, I found I was getting so much flare, it was ridiculous.
But that can also depend on the size of your peep, can't it? How it affects the vision going through the scope.
Yeah. Well, with that, of course, I'm shooting an AV41 scope. I'm shooting a 3/16 peep.
Right.
What have I got on there? Rad Super Juice 38, 3/16. Can't find anybody in this country that does them.
Do you know what? I couldn't even tell you what's in the back of my peep. I couldn't tell you. Could not tell you. I haven't got a clue.
Rad Super Juice.
I don't even know if it's a clarifier or a verifier.
I've got a Rad... Right. Clarifiers make the target clearer. Verifiers make the pins clearer.
Yeah.
I can't wrap my head around it.
So which do you prefer? Do you prefer a clear target or a clear pin?
Well, you want the target to be clear, don't you? Because you focus on the target.
You're focusing on the target, yeah. So yeah.
And I still find myself every now and again focusing on the pin. And when you focus on the pin, you thought, oh, there it is. Yeah. When you're not looking at the target, it's like, oh, no. So yeah. So I'm happy with this. I'm sure it's Doc's choice. The lenses. I had it from Merlin. Say, cost me 77 quid. I picked it up. I was going over to a bow hunters meet in Derbyshire, and I was driving past Burton. I'd looked, and they'd got one in stock. I'd tried to phone a couple of weeks before. I'd been mega busy at work, hadn't had a chance to phone in the week, so I phoned up on a Saturday morning. Now, I can't actually play the recording because it's on my phone.
Might be just as well.
Mate, when I've spoken to the lads at Merlin, the customer service, Adam has been absolutely amazing.
Yep.
My gripe is you can't speak to anybody on a Saturday. Did you know that?
Didn't know that.
If you phone Merlin on Saturday morning, and you will be told all you can do is make an appointment or rebook an appointment, which pissed me off because I'd been mega busy all week at work. We hadn't stopped, and I started work before they opened, finished work after they closed. So I was at the club on the Saturday, and I phoned them up. And I'm like, what the fuck? I can't speak to somebody on a Saturday. All I wanted to see if they'd got an item in stock. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
To see if they got something in stock, and you can't do that, that really surprised me. But I mean, if I've phoned up on a Monday to Friday, it's always been Alex I've spoken to.
I tend to email in, to be fair.
Well, what I really like is Alex hasn't got an ego.
Yeah.
If he doesn't know something, he's not afraid to say, I'm not sure, would you mind holding while I go and ask my colleague? That is refreshing.
Yeah.
Rather than just try and bullshit through it. And I do like dealing with Alex. And when I went out to pick this lens up, I think it was James and Brian I was talking to, and had a proper laugh with them.
Yeah, no, nice guys.
Yeah.
So with this Trophy Ridge React, I've kind of like customized it. It's not standard.
You put a V8 in it.
I've put a V8 in it. Yeah. Well, I have because if you look at the Trophy React site, the scope housing is mounted to the site in a very unique way.
Yeah.
So it has two bolts goes into the scope housing, which then goes into a bar that goes on to attaches to the front of the sight in a very unique way.
Yeah.
Now, you can't put a UV3XL on that sight.
Yeah.
Doesn't fit. So I bought from UltraView a adapter, which basically, long and short of it is, you take the very front of the Trophy Ridge sight off and you rebuild it with the UltraView sight. But the UltraView sight doesn't match up exactly.
Right.
So I've had to machine out the holes top and bottom of the UV adapter.
Bloody hell.
Now, on the back of the adapter, there's also a threaded grub screw, which holds in place a spring and then a ball, which helps for the adjuster on the very front of it.
Yeah.
So I worked out that if I take that off, take the grub screw out, that means I've got a hole in dead centre of the UltraView adapter.
Yeah.
Right. So the front of the trophy sight has come off. There's a pin that goes through the sight housing onto the threaded bar.
Yeah.
I had to take that out completely, rotate it around the other way, put it back so both parts of the sight housing go through the threaded bar, and this another part of the threaded bar extrudes out the front.
I'm sorry, this just sounds like a major ball ache.
It is. So it fits perfectly into where the grub screw fits, and it holds the spring and therefore the rotating, the little ball, the little brass ball, sort of chrome ball, on there perfectly, and it all bolts in perfectly now. It took me ages to do this. And at one point, because I didn't do it quite as well. The first time I did it, so it's the second iteration of doing it. The first time I did it, I didn't quite do it as well. And after, 20 shots or so, it started getting loose. I knew it wasn't going to come off, but you could move the sight. So
Don't they say with their Excel sights, though, you can get a degree of movement and they still shoot true?
Yes, absolutely.
So you field tested this, and it is correct then?
Oh, absolutely. But it wasn't that it would move and it would stay in one position. It would wobble.
Yeah.
It was loose. Yeah. So I thought, right, I'm going to do this a different way. So I took it all apart and I was going to rebuild it as the standard sight and find a different way of putting the UltraView scope onto the Trophy Ridge sight. Okay. But then I realised that during this process, there was a couple of missing bits. You know what it's like when you have a jar of leftover bolts and you think, where are they from? A bit like that. So I emailed Merlin, and they were fantastic. I've got to say, they were really good. And they got hold of Trophy Ridge. I took a photo of the bit that I wanted and explained what I wanted. And they came back to me and said, they'll give it to you free of charge under warranty. All you've got to do is pay the postage from the States to here.
Wow.
Which is amazing, because I'd literally destroyed the site.
Apart from when I've emailed bow manufacturers direct, and they'll speak to folks in the States all day long.
Yeah.
They don't like talking to the end user from Europe.
Yeah.
But I had my original QAD Hunter Rest. The launcher blade is held on with two little screws.
Right.
And I was shooting around the woods one day, and all of a sudden I'm shooting right. What the fuck's going on here? Looks, and one of the little screws had come loose, and the blade was doing that.
Yeah.
Emailed them, said, this has happened. How much to just get a new screw? And they came back super quick and said, no worries, we'll send you one out. I said, well, look, I'm in the UK, at least let me pay shipping. No, we'll send you out. And they sent me a full freaking rebuild kit for the thing for a 50 quid rest.
Yeah. Mad.
They know customer service.
Yeah.
They especially...
Get that in China.
Yeah.
Oh, 360.
Yeah, but the Chinese government will pay postage for you, then, won't they?
No, they won't. They won't.
How do you think you get free postage on everything from off eBay from China? The Chinese government pays the postage to boost exports. Yeah.
Wow.
When was the last time you bought something and it's...
I know.
The customs declaration is toy value £1.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, you're right.
The Chinese government love their exports, so
But it's sussed.
Well, how else do you think you can... Either free postage or like $3.99 postage from the other side of the world.
Admittedly, because when you buy it in from the States, and you get your little thing through the door, and it says you haven't paid enough
Yeah,
on the import
exactly.
duties. You
Yep.
owe us X.
Royal Mail say we want our £8 for doing it. Piss off, mate. I've already paid postage.
Exactly, yeah.
Having said that, do you remember Gritty Bowman, Brian Call, when he was working with Aaron Snyder on the Gritty Bowman? It's just a Gritty podcast now. They did
Just a Gritty podcast or the Gritty?
the Gritty podcast. They did a T-shirt, when there's carbon in the air, there's hope.
Right.
And I was going to buy one of these. And I looked, it's got to be 4 or 5 years ago. The T-shirt was $25. And it's only going to be a Gildan or a Fruit of the Loom T-shirt, and a bog standard. They make them in Telford. You can go onto their website and pay £1.50 for these T-shirts, literally. But the shipping was nearly $30.
Jeez.
So you got £25 for a T-shirt and $30 shipping.
That's mad.
But I ordered one from Bow Disciples last week. They'd got a Black Friday sale on.
Oh.
And I get pissed off
Is
in
it
this
still on?
country. I don't know. Have a look on bowdisciples.com.
Bowdisciples.com.
Bowdisciples.com. It's one of his pump station T-shirts. You know that, James Visser has made it on social media when other people start using right in the pump station.
Absolutely.
I bought one of his pump station T-shirts. I think they were originally about $29. But it was on Black Friday sale for $9.
Cool.
And $12 ship. I paid
Still only $21.
Yeah, what did I pay in total by the time it had gone over? I think it cost me £19 to buy and ship it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that'll be here next week. They're sending it with UPS as well, who tend to be a lot better than USPS. USPS are awful. But I'm thinking
awful.
That's a Black Friday sale. I mean, how many archery shops have you seen in this country? Black Friday spectacular, 5% off. It's made their end of Black Friday fucking sale.
That's normal, isn't it?
Yeah. Although Merlin did do a 20%, well, it was up to 20% off.
Yeah, and to be fair, they don't
But-
discount to direct users.
No,
They discount clubs only.
no, the Black Friday sale was to everybody.
That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
it was online only.
Yeah.
Online only.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a look at what was on there. It was up to 20%. But Black Friday sale, I want to see like 50% off. That's Black Friday.
Exactly, yeah.
That's a Black Friday. It's not like...
Yeah, it's not like a Blue Cross sale, is it?
Oh, God, no.
DFS Blue Cross sale.
Christ. SCS, their Black Friday sale's been running from the Friday in March to the end of
last year.
December.
No, it's last year it started, wasn't it?
I mean, I do appreciate there's not a lot of margin in archery gear.
There isn't.
Their margins aren't really good.
Yeah. And well, we know that some of the shops have recently closed,
Yeah.
unfortunately, just purely because there's not enough business in the UK to do it. Without having the hunting scene in the States, it's the hunting scene that really keeps archery thriving.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
Without that, where would the sport be?
Yeah.
In truth.
I did wonder, was this one of the reasons Bowtech dumped is a hard word, isn't it? They broke off the contract with Gillingham and Douglas. Tim Gillingham and Carl Douglas don't seem to have the social media presence that Paige Pierce does. Paige Pierce is in all the forums. She'll comment on things on Archery Life, and she'll help people on there. I mean, everybody says Tim Gillingham is possibly the most helpful guy in archery. He will help anybody with anything.
I've heard that said.
He's supposed to be he just wants to grow it. But I'm wondering, is it their social media presence that Bowtech was looking at?
Could be. Who knows?
So you look at the likes of Chris B. He's all over YouTube.
He's everywhere.
He knows how to make the most amazing videos. There are times he gets on my nerves a bit, but I just can't stop watching these videos. The production quality of some of his videos are amazing.
Yeah, they're really good.
Dan Stanton, another one of Matthew's Elk Shape. Amazing videos, really good. Whitetail Fit, Joel Burham. He's one of Hoyt's sponsored shooters. He's a hunter. He's not a target shooter. He's a hunter.
Yeah.
And again, the quality of his videos they're spectacular. You look at these guys I suppose now they are professional filmmakers because they do it full time.
Yeah. The video production.
But they're not using Blackmagic cameras. They're using Canons, Nikons, and iPhones.
Yeah, well, we
You know,
both
there's
know
no
that the
30
iPhone is tremendous for making videos. And
I love it.
reels
That's the reason. I wasn't looking back to go back to Apple when I had the phone I've got now.
I wasn't. I was Samsung user. I've been Samsung user for ages because I just got fed up with iOS.
2012, I moved away from iOS, and the biggest thing was my old HP laptop. You had to have iTunes on it to do anything.
Yep.
And fuck, did it make that laptop laggy? But it's designed to work with. They are building an ecosystem, aren't they?
Yeah.
You have your Apple Watch, your iPhone, your iPad,
your Tesla. Burn. Sorry.
You have your MacBook for when you're going around. You have your iMac on your desk.
Yep.
And it's a full. You know what? Matthews of the Apple of the archery world.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
But it is very clever, though, isn't it?
Oh, it's very clever.
You know, the site locks in nicely. You know, it's just
That's brilliant.
It is beautiful in that regard.
But with the stabilizers, what happens if you buy a Matthews and full setup? Then you go to another brand. You can't use those stabilizers on any other bow.
That keeps you in the brand.
Yeah, it's doing an Apple.
It is. Yeah.
I saw Shane Chunning posted something about the new lift. Was it end of last week? And he said it's the first Matthews bow that's piqued his interest in years. So I presume the last one was the initial Halon where they came out with the concentric cam. Of course, everything since then has just been small incremental things.
The thing
now
is, though,
we've got the revolutionary change.
With this style of going to market, i.e. you buy the bow and you buy everything that goes on it, because that's all that fits, it kind of can do the opposite, and it put people off from buying that equipment because you think, well, I don't want to fit.
And you can fit standard bars on the Matthews.
Okay.
But if you buy their bars, you then, if you go to another brand, you're then dependent on somebody wanting those bars.
That's the beauty of having standard fittings, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, everybody's going to the Hamsky with their method of fitting. I don't think they've patented it, have they, Hamsky? They just said, we're putting this out because we think everybody should have a free-to-use universal fit.
Yeah.
More of fitting the Picatinis on the front for sights, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Most of the sight manufacturers now are putting pick rails on the front. Well, I mean, they've been around in firearms for God knows how long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it makes... I do like the idea that they are driving integration, and bringing everything in closer means you've got to have less crap on your bow. Yeah,
definitely.
And at some point, I've got to try a sidebar on the Prime because I do seem to come off a little. So that's going to be. I've got one upstairs. Actually, saying that, I've got a fused carbon blade, 12-inch fused carbon blade.
Oh.
But it's got a 14-ounce weight on it.
Ah.
I used to shoot it on the Kuma.
Yeah.
Actually, that might work.
You seen the price of those blades?
They don't make them anymore, do they?
No.
I missed out on one.
Have you seen them when they come up on secondhand?
Yeah.
They're still outrageously priced.
Yeah. I missed out on one on Sell My Bow. Somebody was selling there was a 33-inch going for 50 quid and a 30-inch going for 40 quid.
They're good. That's good.
I know.
Good prices.
The rest I've seen, they've all been wanting 250 quid for them.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I bought it to use with the Kuma. I tried the Bee Stinger, tried 10-ounce, a carbon blade with 10-ounce on the front, then put the 14-ounce on, and the bow just held so steady. I thought, Christ, 14. I mean, it is just one big oval weight, same profile as the stabiliser. I think, fuck, if I go hunting and wound one, you don't put a second arrow in, you screw this thing off and just bludgeon it to death with it.
To the old Mike Parvis, run up and slit the throat if you don't get with the first arrow.
Who was it? Threw a bow. Did you see that video that went viral? They were pheasant shooting.
No.
Pheasants got an arrow through it. You know what birds are like. They'll run and run and run, won't they? I watched one where Sarah Bomar took the head off a turkey and it ran off down the field. So this guy's chasing this pheasant, and in the end, bloody top end compound bow just lobs it and donks the bird with a bow.
Good shot, though. Good shot.
Very good shot.
The funniest thing I saw on Facebook, bow related, recently was a chap shooting a compound bow. He comes up full draw, and then the bow just collapses and limbs go everywhere, and he gets.
Oh God, I saw that.
Yeah,
you actually see the limbs go.
I mean, Christ knows what happened on that one, but.
I've had it happen. I've had it happen. Well, I didn't realise until I was talking to. Who was I talking to? I can't remember who I was talking to after the Epics blew. Because I mean, that one, I just scrapped it. I wasn't going to put that through for warranty because it blew the hydro dipping off of the riser. It bent my release aid. Blew the hydro dipping off the riser. It shows you
how much energy is going through these things.
On that bus cable, when you're at full draw on a 70-pound bow, there's between 350 and 400 pounds of pressure on that bus cable.
Yeah,
and you think,
crazy. Yeah,
it's
held by that
thick, and where it goes onto the yokes, it's half of that. And when we looked, that was the only thing we could see that could have happened. Because I mean, the bus cables were served, so you couldn't see them. The serving. It must just have banged away it went. Yeah. But Christ, I shot myself.
Yeah. I did it. I did a dry fire once, and I was on the practice range, and I was really concentrating on my form. This was after a bit of a lesson with good old Tony Weston, and showing me how to shoot a back tension release properly. And I was shooting. And I was concentrating so hard on my release hand, I forgot to knock an arrow.
That's exactly what happened to me when I dry fired the Kuma.
It's just
when we'd shot one round, and I was trying the thumb button again.
Yeah,
it was a warm day, and my hands were sweaty, and I'm always terrified the way I was trying to do it. Oh, that just flashed green.
Oh.
Whereas
we're recording now.
Yeah, the way Joel Turner says, where you lock your thumb on the button. See, now, if this video does work, if you're listening to the audio podcast, you're going to have to get over to YouTube and look at the video podcast for this bit. Where you lock the thumb around the button, and as you pull, you relax that hand.
Right, yeah.
And it drives the button into your thumb. So all you're doing is contracting your back.
Yeah.
And that sets it off.
Yeah.
Because I'd always been a squeezer.
Squeezer.
And I have to admit, I am...
Is that...
I'll admit...
Command?
I am a trigger puncher. Yeah, command shooting.
Command shooting.
Command shooting.
Yeah.
Command? Is that C-O-M-M-A-R-N-D?
Command shooting. Yes. And later on, I will go and have a bath.
Shandy drinking Southern Fairies.
Oh, here we go, Northern twats.
Midlands, mate, I'm in the middle. I just sit here and adjudicate.
Oh, let's not get racist.
And because my hand was sweaty, all the way out to the first target, I'm just looking at my hand thinking, which I found the problem with that was I've since discovered from Angel, I tended to grip like that, not straight.
Yep.
And I'd lock my fingers, so I'd be pulling so hard, but when
and
everything's locked, nothing's happening, I'd get frustrated and just
pull
as hard as I could.
Oh, yes.
And the arrow goes off into orbit.
Definitely.
And you know, with a 70-pound compound, those arrows can bloody fly.
We all like a good yank.
Yeah, you're back to a 9-inch extension and chrome balls again, aren't you? But I was just gets up to the first peg, hooks on, comes back, lets it go, and there's a bang. And I just had not long had no strings and cables on it. I thought, fuck.
Oh, no.
The string split around the peep sight. I thought, fuck.
And the peep sight's gone.
Strings failed. And I'm looking for my arrow, and I looks down, and I've still got all my arrows in me.
That's a good shot.
In my quiver. I'm thinking, oh, fuck. I've just dry fired. And of course, that was just before.
It's that sudden realisation.
It was, what had we just come out of lockdown, the first lockdown?
Yeah.
So that's when I shipped. From when I worked in an archery shop, I knew bear were taking, like, fuck me, how long back then? 6 months to get parts over. So I messaged generally the archery shack, and he said, yeah, we can generally get them in 2 to 3 weeks. I said, brilliant, I'm shipping it over to you. I've dry fired it, my fault, just get it put right, please. And of course, that's when they stopped all the production in the American factory. So it took about 3 months, which was a pity. But yeah, and the first dry fire I ever had was on my Stinger X, actually in bow sports range. I'd not long had the bow, and on their 20-yard range, I used to shoot 6 arrow ends, and I'd put 5 in the gold.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, there's 5 in the gold, 5 in the gold. I'm going for 6. Bang!
Uh-oh.
I can't see me arrow. Where's my arrow?
Where's your bow?
Where's my peep sights? The little Stinger X survived it. I mean, that was at
Really?
£70.
Wow.
That's
good bows, though. Stinger X.
They're
good,
really,
good little bow.
really good
Really
bows.
nice.
I will never
I will
never get rid of mine.
Yep.
It taught me so much. Bloody hell, I even meddled with it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're good bow. But it's what comes back to what I said earlier on. It doesn't matter what the bow in your hand is.
Yeah.
It's the shooter, but it's the pink floppy bit behind.
But back then, I was shooting a lot more. I keep saying I've got to start. I've got no excuse now. I've got to start shooting more. I really must.
I'm going to be shooting less.
Yeah, we're forecast minus figures for the rest of this week.
Figures.
For those of you in the States, that's in Celsius, not minus Fahrenheit.
Yep.
They're forecasting,
Snow
I think.
down my way.
Is there?
It will be, yeah. At the end of the week, they're forecasting snow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I haven't got a four-wheel drive anymore.
Oh, no, you got rid of that, didn't you?
Yeah. Wife's got one, though.
The life of the travelling salesman. Oh, I've lost where I was now. Shit. Yeah,
your
but
bow went bang.
Yeah,
well, your bow didn't go bang. That was the point.
You know it's like
survive.
though with this country, you get a quarter inch of snow, and then the Daily Express are predicting 6 months of ice age.
Oh god, yeah.
Or
We'll have 2 flakes, and we'll come to
the country will grind to a halt. Yeah,
definitely.
But round here, they've got no snow plows. one of my old customers used to live in Sheffield.
You're kidding me?
And he said, of course, Sheffield's built around 7 hills.
Yeah.
They've still got all their snow plows.
Yeah.
And
be busy then.
Day 1, all the bus routes are ploughed.
Yeah.
Day 2, if there isn't an excess of snow again overnight, all the back roads are ploughed.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's how you keep a town going, I suppose.
Anywhere with snow I remember there used to be snow ploughs when I was a kid. And we used to get a lot more snow as well.
People that have proper snow,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, Canada, the Alps.
Oh, Christ. Half the States does.
Iceland. They must laugh at us.
Oh, God, they've got to. Half inch of snow and the country grinds to a freaking halt. Oh, God, when I was at school, if there was a foot of snow on the floor
school's closed.
and you were late into school, you got a bollocking, you should have set out sooner.
Oh, no.
And if you all behaved, you got an extra playtime in the afternoon for snowball fights. Now,
Well, you can't have snowball fights now.
no.
Banned.
Yep. Can't play conkers unless you're wearing safety specs.
Safety specs. You can just see all the kids go to school with their safety specs, can't you? That's going to happen.
Mate, the daftest one I heard, and before people say, no, I'm not trans-fucking-phobic either, I read a report, I can't remember where I read it,
Excuse me.
with if a student in a school identifies as the opposite gender, they have to let them use the opposite gender's changing rooms. What were you like as a 15-year-old lad? It was like the holy grail
Can I take the Fifth Amendment on that?
It'd be like the Holy Grail to get into the girls' changing room, wouldn't it? When I was at school, if they'd have said this, every last lad had have said, "We're all girls, let us in their changing room." 15-year-old lads are just fucking hornhounds. They're led by their hormones.
That's true enough.
Oh, I thought, Jesus Christ, somebody didn't think that one through, did they?
No. Yeah, PC, isn't it? All political correctness.
Oh, no, today's world's just fucked up. This is why I go out in the woods and shoot bows.
Exactly. It gives you peace and mental well-being.
Was it the Japanese paid something like $150,000 on a study to conclude that woodland bathing is good for you? And what they call woodland bathing is just sitting in the woods, taking in nature. Yeah. Mate, I'd have told them that for $149,000.
Oh, yeah, I would have done it for less.
148. We're on a Dutch auction here.
Yeah.
Get down to 50,000 and they say, yep, we'll take that.
I'll take that. Take that and party.
Oh, God, yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. Well, there was another thing on TV recently that said it's now been scientifically proven that spending time in the woods improves your well-being.
Of course it does.
For goodness sake, the French, as I understand it, actually prescribe archery to help with mental health.
Oh, wow.
So you can get it as a prescription.
Mind you, the Scandinavians do sunbed treatment, don't they?
Do they?
Well, seasonal affective disorder, of course, it's so dark. The lack of vitamin D can cause mental health problems.
Yeah, I guess.
So, put them on a sunbed.
Yeah.
Actually, I wonder if I claim I've got SAD, will they send me to the Caribbean for a month?
Yeah, could ask.
Ooh, there's an idea.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get away with that.
I can't see it happening. I'll tell them I'm an I'll tell them I'm an MP.
Oh, well, you can get anything then.
Oh, can't you just? Right, is there anything else we want to cover?
Oh, there's probably a plethora.
Yes.
But I can't think of anything at the moment in my brain.
This is what happens when it comes to our age, isn't it? It's what happens when it comes to our age.
I can't even remember what I did this morning. Who are you? What am I doing?
Who are you?
Oh dear.
You know what? It's been an absolute. I've been saying for ages, haven't I? I've been trying to get you to come on as.
I don't know why.
Aoife's digital media officer.
Oh yeah, plug. Go and have a look on the English Field Archery Association YouTube channel.
Oh yes. You know what? I never threw that video I did from the dots up on the Aoife page.
You not? You should.
No.
Yeah, you should. Should. Definitely.
I was a little concerned about some of the language.
Yeah. I must admit, at being DMO for the FAA, you are conscious of some of the things that I said.
There was only one swear word. It's a lot tamer than this. Well, a lot tamer.
I have had to cut a fair amount of stuff out of those films because of some of the things that have been said.
I think in the second or third scene, it was good old Brummy had come up to full draw and not slid his glasses down. He uses his glasses to adjust his sight, pulls them down to shoot, and he comes up to full draw and it's, oh, bollocks. And I thought, shit, I'd better not. That's the only reason I didn't throw it up on there.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be really sort of like offended by the word.
Yeah.
Bollocks.
You said that, didn't you? Bollocks.
I think there's other things that are more offensive.
Standard of my shooting.
Standard of my shooting. My God.
Oh mate, I don't know what was going on Saturday. I think it has.
Is this dots or bow hunters?
Dots has a big effect on me who I'm shooting with. If I know the people,
definitely,
I'm so much more relaxed and I don't worry. I shot with an awesome group on Saturday. They were really nice people. I shot with Dan Ray.
Yeah.
Alfie, who's just come to Aoife, hasn't he?
Yep.
And one of Paul Weddell's club mates, Matt. Lovely people. But I knew Dan Ray put in the highest raw score at the Bow Hunters, didn't he?
Yep.
Was it Bow Hunter Unlimited he shoots, and he beat all the freestyle Unlimiteds?
5-pin Unlimited, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I was stressing.
He's just got it. He's one of the top.
Hell of a shooter and a really, really nice guy as well. I should have been so much more relaxed. But again, shooting with people I didn't know, I was kind of proper jittery.
Yeah.
I only shot one first arrow 5. The rest were all 10s and 8s.
Mm-hmm.
But the number of second arrow 5s I had, and the only thing I can put it down to, looking back, is grip pressure. Because the line would be the same as the first arrow, I was consistently going 6 to 8 inches high with my second arrow.
It's only yourself that puts the pressure on.
Yeah.
Nobody else is putting that pressure on you.
Nobody else gives a shit.
Absolutely not. And proof and point of that, on day 1, first target, I blanked.
Jesus.
I blanked the first target. I think off the top of my head, it was a 40-yard deer. And I put so much pressure on myself that I put 2 arrows straight over its back.
Wow.
And I could have swore blind that the 40 pin was dead on.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what happened. And that's not the only target I blanked that day. And then second day, I just thought, what the heck? And I came back with a 5.58.
Bloody hell, that's good going.
dropped 2 points.
What did I come in? 4.51 on the Saturday, which was abysmal. And it was second arrow 5s.
Yeah.
Second, just exactly the same line as the first, 6 to 8 inches high.
Right.
And I wasn't moving my sights, so the only thing I can think is I was...
Yeah, pressure on the palm.
On the heel of the hand, and it's just kicking the bow up as the shot breaks. Sunday...
Could have even just been something as putting too much pressure on the string with your nose.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah. Sunday, what did I come in with? 5.54, only dropped 6 points. Which, for me, I was over the bloody moon with. I'd gone 12 targets before I had, is it 10s and 8s?
I did, because I set the challenge that if you missed the kill, you'd shoot miss, or you'd shout miss. And,
David was on about that.
Yeah, and so every now and then, throughout the day, because I didn't miss until quite late. So throughout the day, every now and then in the woods, you could just hear this miss. And I thought that was hilarious. So I was
on the Sunday,
chuckling away to myself.
I shot with Les James, David Stone, and Brummy. And it was just non-stop shits and giggles all the way around. It really, really... I was so much more relaxed because I knew them.
Yeah.
I've shot with David down at White Mark.
Yeah.
Brummy, I know. Bloody hell, we did 2.5 hours karaoke at Liberty, me and Brummy did.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Piston singing.
Oh, shit.
Then I shot with Les on day 2 of the Dots last year. Mm-hmm. So I knew them all, and I was just so chilled out.
Yeah, exactly that.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I say, the guys I shot with on the first day, they're a really nice bunch of guys, but I was just nervous shooting around people I hadn't shot with before.
Yeah.
And again, like I say, knowing what a hell of a shot Dan Ray is. I think Alfie's only been in shooting again 4.5 months.
Yep.
But bloody hell, he's a hell of a shot. Yeah. But he said he's shooting like 150 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I just couldn't do that. Physically, I could not do that.
When I first had my Stinger X, I was shooting well in excess of 200 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I don't think I've ever done
Which figures why I shot better then than I do now.
Well, yeah. And maybe ages. I mean, how long ago was that?
2014. December 2014, I had my Stinger X. So
it's 9 years.
Yeah. I'm just refusing to get old. Bollocks to that.
I'm trying to refuse to get
old. Fuck that. We want to live to at least 130.
130.
Yeah.
Do I? No, I haven't built up enough pension to do that. I need more. Oh.
You'll have to start an OnlyFans page. Look at my wrinkly feet.
Oh, look at my 9-inch bar.
And my chrome balls.
Yeah.
We're happily talking about it. I've just realised not one of us has been looking at the camera. Hello. Folks. Too busy gazing into each other's eyes.
It's a love affair.
You smooth talker, you. I think we've just about run out of bollocks to chat, haven't we?
Run out of clean stuff to talk about.
You know what? It's been an absolute pleasure to finally get you on the podcast.
Oh, I don't know why.
Once the studio's finished, once I finish gutting the studio and redoing it, you'll have to come up again.
We'll find some other stuff to get into, bitch about.
Yeah. Oh, here's a question.
Oh.
How many members does IFA have?
Good bloody question. If I was the membership secretary for IFA, I could tell you.
Right,
but I don't. No,
just thinking.
It's actually not as many as you'd think.
Yeah.
EFAA is actually very small.
Didn't somebody say at one point Whitemark have 25% of the IFA members?
No, it's not as much as that. I think it's about 10%. So we have 250 members at Whitemark.
Bloody hell.
And
it is an awesome club, though.
Yeah.
And shameful to say I've been remiss this year and not been down yet.
And you've been sorely missed. But
that's only because you've had nobody to abuse.
Well, absolutely. We are the most southerly club in the UK, if I'm correct in assuming that, because we're just down by Beaconsfield, which is not far outside of London, really.
Yeah.
Most of the clubs seem to be north from us. I think the closest one to us is Bedford, Red Rose, is it?
I lose track because you look at in the back of the Field Archer magazine, IFA's magazine.
There's some new clubs that have just come online.
Is it?
But again, they're further up north.
Yeah. But there is a whole list of clubs, those with grounds and those without grounds.
Yeah.
And then you look at clubs without grounds.
There's quite a few without.
But they're end-fast clubs.
Yeah.
But don't you have to have an IFA course chartered?
To be an IFA club?
To have a course, an IFA course in your woods.
Yes. So I'm assuming they've got a course, but they just haven't had it chartered by the FAA.
At Paget, it's not something we can do. We've got about 2.25 acres of woodland.
Yeah.
We can get 18 shots in. There's no way we could.
I think if you're NFAS, you're not going to get yourself chartered as IFA because you then got a load of pegs with distances on, which totally negates what you're trying to do for an FAS.
Some, aren't there? Is it Avalon?
I think that some of the larger clubs, I think...
Is it Avalon that said they're doing, first Saturday of the month, they're doing a pay and play? You pay a tenner,
and you go around.
You can rock up and shoot, and they've got a 2D course, a 3D course, and a full IFA course.
Yeah.
That'll be one to do on a Saturday morning, I think, at some point.
Yep.
Be a full day. Christ, how many arrows is that? If they've got a 36 target 3D course, that's 36 arrows. 128 on a full IFA round. 120, it is 128, isn't it, on a full...
Something like that?
No, 112. 112.
Yeah. My maths
4x28.
Do you know what? I've totally gone away
148
from
arrows.
All of the paper-faced shoots. I'm literally just doing 3Ds.
See, this is... I wanted to come down to Whitemark and do a hunter or a field round with you, so you could run me through.
I'll run you through, mate. I'll run you through. People would pay for that. I could make a lot of money. What would you pay to see me run him through?
That's back to your OnlyFans page again, isn't it?
We're back to my 9-inch extension. My Chrome
www.strokethesilverfox.com.
Wow.
The kit.
It was a bit, wasn't it?
Singer or Cockney rhyming slang.
Okay, enough.
Right, where can we find you on the social media?
Nowhere.
Go on, I'm going to be dropping links in the show notes.
I'm only on Facebook, David G. Archery. That's my only thing, really. I do have a Instagram page, but I'll keep that a personal page.
You post on that about once every 18 months.
I don't know if I've ever actually posted on Instagram. I just like to voyeur.
And we're back to Pornhub.
Where else? No, apart
Did
from
you get a medal when you completed Pornhub?
Oh yes. You have to go through 20 stages. Yeah, level up. But apart from that, it's only really the EFAA YouTube channel. So I'll put the YouTube stuff out for EFAA. EFAA also has an Instagram account. And Leslie uses that really just on shoot days, really to notify people things that are going on, maybe. But yeah, that's it. I really don't dabble too much if I can avoid it.
You're the digital media off.
I know, terrible, isn't it? Yeah, but I don't do it for myself.
No, you're doing it for IFA.
I just do it for IFA.
I know they reckon the NFAA shoots in the States.
Can I just make a little bit of a I don't know, suggestion to people out there who comment to say, how come the videos only show compound archery?
Because you shoot compound and you shoot in groups with other bloody compounders.
That's correct, yes. So if anyone who's listening wants to see trad, longbow, recurve, or anything else, film it and send it to me, then I can add it in. But if you don't do that, I can't.
What's the email address they send it to?
Right. Well, the easiest one is my Facebook account, because I can just download it straight off the Facebook account. At the moment, that's the easiest way. Unfortunately, doing it that way, we do lose a bit of the digital sharpness of quality. So as EFAA are looking at setting up a way by or a page where people can upload their videos and photos that can be shared either just on the website or putting them into the video content. So that hopefully we're going to have something maybe for 2024. I know it's been looked at by the technical officer.
Superb.
But yeah, watch this space.
Excellent. Right, fantastic. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you.
I don't know why. I'm a bit of a nightmare. I don't know anything. I'm not a good shooter. Join
the club.
Joe Average.
Join the club.
But I have fun.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the people that I shoot with.
I had somebody comment on one of the YouTube videos. It'd be nice to see more trad shooters. And I'd like to get more trad on there. The whole point of the podcast, it was a journey I'm taking, and I don't really shoot trad. Maybe I should shoot more trad.
Yeah,
I don't know if I shoot my trad bow, holding back the compound's a lot easier. Of course, you're holding 40 pound back.
Yeah,
with a trad bow.
I couldn't do it. I just physically couldn't do it. Why do you think I shoot a compound?
Well, I've got a goal, haven't I?
And I can't pull heavy weights.
I was too lazy to do it last year. I want John that I shoot with. He's got a 106 pound Joe Gibbs flat bow. It's an animal of a bow. So far, I can get about 12 inches of draw out of it.
Well, you're doing well to get 12 inches. I've only got 9.
He's 80 pound long bow. I can get to 30 inches. He's 90 pounder. Last year I managed to get it to about 29 inches for 2 shots, and then I was spent. Well, to be fair,
that's a great feeling.
Spent after the first shot, aren't they?
We all love to be spent after the first shot. Yes.
But this Joe Gibbs flat bow, it's a work of art. But it's like shooting a compound. By the time you're 12 inches in, you've got 106 pound, and it's holding 106 pound.
Yeah, sod that.
Until you get to 32 inches, and there is no let off.
No, sod that.
There is no let off.
I like my easy life.
Yeah, I mean, what amazes me about John is a lot of the warbow shooters, they do that rolling shoulder draw, don't they?
Yeah.
He's bloody T-drawing this thing. Yeah. It's like, Christ almighty.
No, I like my 60 pounds and let off to about 12 and a half. I can just about cope with that.
I was amazed when I had no problems drawing the Kuma.
Give me a trigger.
Last week.
So much flipping easier. In fact, sod it. Next year, I'm coming out with a gun. I'm just going out with a gun.
Crossbow.
Sod it. Yeah. Why make life difficult?
Oh, yes. Right, I'm hoping this video's recorded. It's showing us recording. Whether it saves or not, I don't know. And I'll tell you what.
It probably ran out 10 minutes into recording.
I'll tell you what, I'm so impressed. I'm using the Camo app that allows you to use your smartphone as a webcam. I tried using a C920p webcam in 1080 and it was grainy and horrible. Because I'm not using the subscription model of Camo, I'm only using the free app. It restricts me to 720. And this, I don't know if you can, in 720 looks so much better than the webcam did in 1080.
I'm just amazed how good I look on camera.
You let me guess, you're only used to seeing yourself in the mirror on the mirrors in the bedroom.
That's
ceiling.
it. I sound so much taller on the phone.
Right, folks, you know where to get me. Email archerygeekoutdoors@gmail.com. Twitter @A_G_outdoors, Instagram archery.geek.outdoors, YouTube Archery Geek Outdoors, Facebook Archery Geek. Just search Archery Geek Outdoors, folks, and I'll appear from somewhere. Say my name 3 times backwards in the mirror and I'll be there for you.
God, that's a frightening thought.
Mr. G, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you, sir. As always. Folks, thanks for taking the time to watch, listen, however you've consumed us. Did you see that look on Davy's face there at the thought of consumption?
Consumption. Yes.
Right. Thanks so much, folks. Stay safe, shoot straight. Bye-bye.
Bye.